Let's do Greenwood.
Killer Mike.
All right,
Because he's obviously been. I follow Killer Mike personally.
Yes.
As do a lot of people, and he's actually been very vocal, like you said,
for a while.
Documenting what he's doing
time.
for the community. Also, a very great entrepreneur, and this is something that should be a staple in every black community, right?
Like a blueprint of how to move, pretty much. Because that's what the black community needs is blueprints at this point.
Right.
Like we all kind of. We're up there as far as being smart and being entrepreneurs and being money, but we don't have the blueprint, or we don't know the blueprint of like, okay, I have these assets, these funds, I have these ideas, I know people who can do stuff, but how?
That's just been history. We've been
started.
Like you said, we've been really good at adapting to situations and turning it into our favor, but we've never been taught the infrastructure.
Financially,
and the blueprint,
too, when it comes to financial.
Right.
That's
so
a fucking tall glass of water.
Yeah, that's going to take a total change in mentality, which we have. It's obviously because of everything going on currently, it's forcing people to think differently. And I think this would be the best time for him to come out with this. It's called Greenwood.
Yes.
After Tulsa, Oklahoma Business District.
Yes.
So I think it's the perfect, name too, right?
Yes. It's Greenwood was created by Bounce TV finder Ryan Glover and his close friend, rapper, activist Michael Killer Mike Render. The leadership team at Greenwood, which includes former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young, unveiled their new platform on Thursday after raising more than $3 million in seed funding in June. It said that Killer Mike's new black-owned bank receives tens of thousands of account requests in less than 24 hours. So that was like a first for a black bank. They said Ryan Glover has been working on Greenwood since early 2019, but he said interest in the venture spiked after the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis sparked a nationwide reckoning with racism that has inspired many Americans, including many in the corporate world, to support black-owned businesses and financial institutions. And before we continue with this Greenwood, I just want to tell people, when y'all were saying, what is this protest going to do? Y'all just burning out stuff. We just going to march and nothing happens. This is they're clearly saying a direct action from what happened, and what happened has sparked this. And this isn't the only thing, but just them saying that answers those questions of thinking we're just getting out there marching for no reason. Like, those people who talk like that, I hate those people. Like, either do something or do nothing. Don't speak about the people that are doing something. I think we said that when all of it was going on. Like, if you ain't gonna march, if you're not gonna share, if you're not gonna speak on it, just shut up. Like, why are you even talking? Yeah. So anyway, so to the Greenwood, did you have more on it, or I can read from the CNN?
No. I mean, so this is obviously, I'm curious to see what his, when he comes out with the guidelines and policies of the bank would be. I mean, it's probably going to be a super straightforward, streamlined process with with like different features and shit. But I mean, what are you thinking about that? Would you definitely look into that?
Well, I'm reading it now. I probably would, because they're saying it's a digital bank. Right.
It's online. So that's definitely the future too.
That's the new wave already.
All my banking is already online.
Yes, and I've heard that online banks currently offer better rates as far as like when you're saving money, the percentages they just offer, because they're not paying brick and mortar for a building.
Damn, that's
so
true.
They're able to pay give out lower or higher percentages of savings and lower rates and all that shit. They're able to give better deals. So one, that's smart because it's online, and then two, it feels more attainable because it's not like it's in Atlanta. So if I'm black in California, I'm like, damn, I can't. If I got that bank, where I'm gonna use it here? There's no ATMs here,
right?
So with it being online, it's like every black person in the world, or anybody that wants to support black business, can go to a website and create a digital account. So I already think that's genius off the top.
It's definitely gonna. It's got to expand, because by 2021, I don't know when exactly, but hopefully they would have communicated with enough, like organizations, at least in the nation, as far as like ATMs and getting access to people around the country instead of just Atlanta. So we'll have to see.
Oh, so you're saying you thinking they should set up,
like, they're gonna have partnerships with different
or
branches, or just maybe even like anywhere that has ATMs. I know 7-Eleven is a big one.
That's what I was going to say, because
Citibank,
7-Elevens, those is like 20 different banks that can go there, including Mission Fed.
Right. So if they can organize that
for free, I think they will.
Yeah, that'd be the best way for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be the next move, is getting one of them 7-Eleven type banks that won't charge you when you take money out with a debit. Now, obviously, the only thing is how you're going to put money in. How you gonna make deposits?
See, I don't know. That's gonna be the tricky part.
Oh wait. We're talking like.
So people are gonna have.
We're talking like grandparents right now. If you got an online check, no. How do you get the physical money? Like right now, if somebody gave me $100,
they would.
How am I gonna get that into my bank account?
Right.
Yeah. See, I don't know how that shit works.
Completely online only.
The only thing I can think is if you keep like I have my Mission Fed, I can put it in there and then make a digital transfer, like get the routing number and everything. How you can send money from bank to bank. That would be the only way. So you still have to have a brick and mortar type bank account where you could physically go in and put money. Because let me see, I'm reading this. Digital bank, there's no digital bank solutions that cater to African American or Latinx communities until Greenwood. So they are including Latinx into this too. So it's not just an African American thing. Yeah. In 2017, this is interesting, about 17% of Black Americans didn't have a bank account compared to just 3% of white Americans. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nice.
2017, only 3% white Americans didn't have one, while 17% of African Americans. That has to speak to the lack of financial education, I would think, right?
And just distrust with organizations too, and just like the establishment.
You think it's a distrust or just an ignorance to like the necessity of having a bank account?
Right. It could definitely.
And I don't
be both.
say ignorance in a negative way, just the not knowing of like.
It could be both, because you know how ladies say, "Don't trust the bank, put your money under your mattress." So it's like kind of coinciding along with the same psychology of that.
And that's a good point you said that, because that goes back to how we were saying
old school,
the history of the head starts that the white community has against the black. Like that is something that's passed down in white families.
Right. So it's systemic.
It's like, hey, get your son a bank account at 8. Put it in his name, get a credit card, add his name, use the credit card, build his credit. Meanwhile, the black knowledge average is, because I've heard that so many times. Man, fuck them banks. My money's safer under my mattress. Nobody's thinking about a bank account.
Nah, because
that's wild.
They would have never trusted. It was all white dudes that own this shit primarily. Back. I mean, not even primarily. Yeah. But they all own that shit. So why would you be a black person putting your money into a white person's establishment? So I mean, I think that is just bleeding over generational. Multi-generational. So
and so then I feel like so since we have a platform, then you should look right into the camera and say, hey, black people listening, if you have nieces and nephews or yourself, go get a checking account. Do the research on what makes sense for you, but having a checking account, especially when you're going to these stores now because of COVID and saying, due to COVID, we're not taking any money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's debit only. I've seen ones that said digital payment only.
Yeah, I've seen
or exact change only, because we don't have change and we're not trying to exchange money. So when you better get a fucking bank account, because they're gonna get, because you know what the way my brain works, and I've been saying this for a while, the dollar ain't worth shit. No, we've been off the gold standard since what? I forgot what year it was or how long ago, right? Because for those who don't know, the gold standard held you accountable. It was like, hey, we have this much gold, so we got this much money in circulation. It makes sense. I forgot which president or establishment fucked it up to where they just kept printing money to the point where it's like, Bush, okay, we're off the gold standard now, because basically our dollar is worth the fucking rumor that it has. It's like if a guy walk in, it's like, yo, that guy killed 10 people. Nobody's gonna fuck with him, even if he never killed 10 people. Just the rumor is out. Same with our money. Yo, that's $100 bill worth 100. Yeah. Until somebody goes, no, it's not. Based off what? That's a piece of paper. Right. So what better thing to do than to take advantage of this COVID and go, hey, yo, due to COVID, we're not taking money no more. Everything's digital. Because now digital, there's no gold standard. Digital is a number. Right. Digital can be edited, can be fluctuated. So you can just go to a foreign country and just say, yeah, America, we're worth $10 billion. Look at the account. Yep. It don't have to be gold. It don't have to be money. Just somebody just go, 10 billion and send. Okay, show them 10 billion. Right. That's in their bank account.
But that's what they were trying to avoid with the whole bit, the cryptocurrency and shit. When that was coming out,
oh, for sure.
Federal government was like, nah, we gotta shut this shit down. Right. So that's pre-COVID. This is the perfect storm, basically, for like the economic.
You don't think the government has already got a bill 88% finished about how cryptocurrency is gonna be the new currency? You don't think they already writing that already? Like, yo, and setting the numbers, basically like, hell, how did we win with paper money, the taxes, the loopholes, and how can we implement this into crypto? Right. Once we figure that out, we will roll out cryptocurrency. And it'll be the new standard.
It's gonna be so fucking easy, especially how technology's progressing, bro. It's gonna feel like a glove.
You're gonna go into a convenience store and have a $5 bill. It's like, They're going to look at that shit like pennies. Like,
I mean, they're already doing it now. Like, I just now got into more too with my iPhone and starting to use the
Apple Pay.
the Apple
Right.
Pay.
I still haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's actually dope. You just
It's
double
actually
click your
cool,
shit
yeah.
and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, damn,
I
that's
use Apple
quick.
Pay.
That's
It's scary.
I go
It's
now.
scary.
Yeah.
Nah, you know
It
what's
is
even
scary.
more, you know what's even more scary is like now I be buying shit with that, bro. I just like did it. It reads my face. Oh, if you take it out your bank account.
Oh,
pay
like
for
on
it.
apps and shit?
Yeah, or just like Starbucks. You just like little shit I be buying. I just double click the power button and it's bought.
Right.
I'm like, God,
It's
Got you,
crazy.
boy.
damn, I need to fucking. I don't know, man. I'm about
They
to
got
watch.
us.
I'm about to watch that Social Dilemma one more
Yeah.
time.
Social Dilemma
Hey,
one
it
more
actually
time.
it actually happened though. I was scrolling through this shit and I was, I guess, looking up some shit. But then it sent me a product for my camera. It's like a little wrist kind of locket thing so you don't drop it.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I did, I was like, oh damn, I do need something like that. Let me look at this shit. And I was like, oh fuck, there it is, bro.
Damn.
Psychological, man.
Just threw it out there. Like,
Just throw it out there and it's shit, bro. That shit's scary.
Yeah. So with the with that number, that's
Right.
how we got off that 17%.
Right.
But I mean, that's what we do. But they were saying why bank black. Today a dollar circulates for 20 days in the white community, but only 6 hours. In the
Yeah,
black
it's
community.
quick. It's got to be quick, man.
And that goes into if
Damn.
people are listening, like, what is that? What does that mean? What does that stat mean? Basically, the white dollar in the white community stays in there for damn near a whole month. What does that mean? That means that it does things. So that it might go from this person to the store owner to this person that works on this and this, and you build the community before it goes out. Whereas the black community is 6 hours, and you ask yourself, ignorant person would think that's because they always spend but just ask yourself, in the black hoods, who owns the liquor stores, the gas stations? How often do you see a black person behind the counter in black neighborhoods? Besides, like,
At an ownership position.
at an ownership, not working, an ownership
Right,
position.
right.
Not too often.
That's why it leaves so quickly. You go in there,
Yeah.
6 hours. A liquor store opens up, or a convenience store opens up at 8 in the morning. They probably make their first drop in 6 hours. All that money that all those black people just came in and bought, whatever they needed for the day, that money goes to where that person lives, which is somewhere else,
Outside the community.
outside the community. That's why it leaves so fast, and that's why you want black banks in black neighborhoods. Just like on Convoy, you have those Asian banks right there in the center of Convoy. That's
Right.
not a coincidence.
No.
That's on
Yeah.
purpose, and that's why every fucking restaurant within that Convoy
Is
hub
Asian.
is Asian
Is
owned.
Asian
And when
owned.
one goes down, another Asian owned one comes up, keeping it in the fucking community, bro.
But if you think about like even other government types like Denmark, they have very high taxes, right?
Right.
But the incentive is they will lower your taxes dramatically if you own a house or even more if you own a business. So it's promoting like, hey,
Entrepreneur.
if you want to be a a citizen of here, we'll give you that tax break. So now what that means is promoting people to own businesses, stimulate the economy, and it's just a cycle. So we can do that on a smaller scale
right.
with this.
Yeah, you start off small.
Because think about it, it's going to be another door opened up for especially people of color to go to a black or colored bank.
Yeah.
And then possibly get a loan and
Get
start
your
that
ideas
business.
finance,
in there.
Because
So-
that's the real issue is
Right.
you go into these banks that aren't represented or owned by you or have the same values as you and say, hey, I want to start this. And if they don't live in that neighborhood or understand that culture, they're going to be like, I don't really see the value in
Exactly.
in loaning you money for that.
Right.
Denied. Whereas if an Asian comes into an Asian bank, say, hey, what's up? Hey, we're thinking about starting this fuss by, fuss sells real good.
my cousin,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just how it works.
Right,
and
right,
every
right.
other community does it. Little Italy, Chinatown is not a coincidence. You have these places
Right.
set up in cities.
Right.
Little Italy is all Italian ran. You go there, it's all Italian restaurants, Italian flags.
Right.
Go to Chinatown. That's on purpose because those people literally come into those communities, get a bank, get an establishment, get all the restaurants, and they run that part of town or whatever, and that money goes into their community to
Right.
their politicians.
Right.
So that's how, in the future, if we want to get a politician that represents us, you have to fund them because money talks at the end of the day.
Damn,
until
that's
we
so true,
until
huh?
we
That's
fund
true.
and back somebody and run their whole campaign, we're gonna constantly still be choosing between a
Fuck.
Democrat or a Republican.
Right.
But if it's somebody that's 35 and we fuck with, and Jay-Z and all the big names, and everybody put their money and run him, he'll be just as
Shit.
influential as the next guy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so that's where it comes from, is financial backing, and it starts with banking and starts with that type of mindset. So shouts out to Killer Mike,
Shout out.
and
Shout
hopefully,
out.
I'm
Salute.
gonna look into it and see if I can get a banking account as well and support the causes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because there's nothing to say you can't have multiple bank accounts, even if you don't want to put all your eggs in.
Right.
I mean, which is smart.
Spread it out.
So spread it out.
Yeah. I've been wanting to get a digital account anyway, just to save better, so I can have access.
Bro, that's probably what I use it for the dividends, bro.
Exactly.